Hold on tight, coin lovers. These aren't your average pocket change, these are the top 5 ultra-rare Washington quarters worth hundreds of thousands, even up to $1 million. From shocking mint errors to historic misprints, you could be holding a fortune in your hand. Let's dive into these jaw-dropping treasures. History of the 1965 Washington quarter. To understand why the 1965 quarter is so special, we need to flash back to a historic turning point in American coinage. Up until 1964, U.S. dimes, quarters, and half dollars were struck in 90% silver. But in 1965, due to a silver shortage and rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint made a radical change. They eliminated silver from the quarter entirely. Instead of silver, the Mint introduced a new composition, a clad sandwich of copper and nickel, layered around a pure copper core. This marked the birth of the modern clad quarter, and 1965 was the very first year of this new era. But this transition wasn't as smooth as it sounds. Collision: the Holy Grail, 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet. This is the superstar of 1965 quarters. While all quarters were supposed to be copper-nickel in 1965, some silver blanks, planchets from 1964, were accidentally used during the transition period. These rare errors are known as 1965 silver Washington quarters, and they're worth a fortune. White heavy checkmark: how to tell if you have a silver 1965 quarter. Weight: a silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, while a clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Color: silver quarters have a consistent gray tone, while clad coins show a copper core on the edge. Sound: silver coins make a distinctive ring compared to the duller sound of clad ones. Money with wings value. A 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet sold for over $12,000 in circulated condition. But one graded MS-67 by PCGS went for an astonishing $16,800. If you find one in perfect condition, it could fetch $20,000 or more. Magnifying glass tilted left: other rare and valuable 1965 quarter errors. It's not just the silver ones that are worth a fortune. Here are some other ultra-rare 1965 quarter errors that collectors go wild for. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. A double die error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, slightly off from each other. This can cause doubling on letters or numbers, a favorite among collectors. Man Detective: what to look for. Doubling in God we trust. Doubling in the date, 1965. Doubling in Liberty. Money with wings value: a strong DDO on a 1965 quarter can bring in $500 to $2,500 plus, depending on condition. 2. Struck on a dime planchet. In rare cases, 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on smaller 10-cent, dime, planchets. These coins are noticeably smaller in diameter and often missing parts of the design. Money with wings value: these errors can sell for $3,000 to over $6,000, especially in high grades. 3. Off-center strike. If a quarter is struck while the blank is off-center, part of the design is missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable it becomes. Money with wings value: a 1965 quarter struck 50% off-center with a visible date can fetch $500 to $1,500 or more. 4. Clipped planchet. This error occurs when part of the blank is accidentally clipped before being struck. If a quarter is missing a curved section, it's likely a clipped planchet. Value: depending on the severity and visibility, clipped 1965 quarters can be worth $200 to $800. Direct hit: rarest of them all, the 1965 proof Washington quarter. Here's where it gets truly legendary. In 1965, no proof quarters were officially issued. Proof coins are high-quality strikes made for collectors, usually minted in San Francisco. But somehow, a few 1965 quarters were struck in proof format, likely due to leftover dies being used or test strikes made during transition. Ice Cube: only a few of these are known to exist. Money with wings value: one such 1965 proof quarter sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $35,000. Another example in perfect condition could be worth $50,000 or even over $100,000, depending on demand. These coins are practically mythical, but confirmed by top grading companies like PCGS and NGC. Brain how to know if you have a rare 1965 quarter. Here's your treasure hunt checklist. White heavy checkmark, weigh it, 6.25 g. You may have a silver quarter. White heavy checkmark, check for doubling, look closely at letters and numbers. White heavy checkmark, look for odd size or shape, may be struck on the wrong planchet. White heavy checkmark, look at the edges, no copper. Might be silver. White heavy checkmark, get it graded, PCGS or NGC can confirm your treasure. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1979, the quarter had undergone several changes, but it still featured the familiar design by John Flanagan, Washington's profile on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse. In 1979, the U.S. Mint produced Washington quarters at 3 facilities. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, 518,708,000 coins. Denver Mint, D mint mark, 489,789,780 coins. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof only, 3,677,175 coins. History Tools, Wikipedia, the engineering knowledge. While these numbers suggest that the 1979 quarter is common, certain rare errors and high-grade specimens have become highly sought after by collectors. Let's delve into the specific errors and varieties that can make a 1979 Washington quarter exceptionally valuable. 1. 1979 S-proof Type 1 versus Type 2. The San Francisco Mint produced proof quarters in 1979, and there are 2 distinct types. Type 1 features a blobby or filled S mint mark. Type 2 features a clear and sharp S mint mark. Finance Monthly, History Tools. The Type 2 proof is scarcer, with a mintage of just 1,288,788 coins compared to 2,388,387 for the Type 1. High-quality PR69 DCAM examples of the Type 2 can be worth around $450, compared to just $30 for a Type 1 in the same grade. History Tools. A double die error occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, slightly misaligned, resulting in a doubling effect. For the 1979 quarter, this can be seen on the letters U or D, and the digits 197 in the date. Only a handful of genuine examples have been authenticated, making them extremely rare. A PCGS MS64 example realized an impressive $12,000 at auction. History Tools. Repunched mint marks, RPM, occur when the mint mark is punched more than once in different positions. Notable RPMs for the 1979 D quarter include Sadface. History Tools. FS 501, D over D North. FS 502, D over D South. FS 503, D over Sideways D. History Tools. Overpunched mint marks, OMM, involve a mint mark being punched over a different one, such as a D over an S. Values for these varieties range from around $50 for a low-grade example to over $500 for a high-grade piece. History Tools. 4. Off-center and broad strike errors. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned during striking. A 10% off-center 1979 quarter might bring $100, while a dramatic 50% off-center error could be worth over $1,000. History Tools. Broad strike errors happen when the collar die is not properly seated, causing the coin to expand and distort. Values range from $150 for a minor error to over $500 for a dramatic example. History Tools. 5. Double curved clips error. This error occurs when the coin blank, planchet, is improperly cut, resulting in missing parts of the coin's edge. A 1979 no-mint mark Washington quarter with 2 curved clip errors sold for $511.20 in 2020. The most expensive. 6. Other notable errors. Triple D error, a die flaw resulting in the letter D appearing tripled. Such coins can be worth about $1.75, coinvaluelookup.com. Filled D error, occurs when the D mint mark is filled with metal due to a defective die, typically worth $1.50, coinvaluelookup.com. Double filling on D mint mark, features a small d over a larger one, valued around $180. coinvaluelookup.com. The demand for rare 1979 Washington quarters has been on the rise. Collectors are willing to pay significant sums for coins with unique errors or in exceptional condition. For instance, a 1979 D Washington quarter in MS67 plus condition can sell for as much as $2,250. Finance Monthly. Here's what to look for. Mint mark. Check for the presence and clarity of the mint mark. Errors, look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual features. Condition, coins in mint state, MS, grades are more valuable, the engineering knowledge. Weight and dimensions, ensure the coin matches standard specifications, deviations might indicate errors. Professional grading, consider having the coin graded by PCGS or NGC for authentication and valuation. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1978, the quarter had undergone several changes, but it still featured the familiar design by John Flanagan, Washington's profile on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced Washington quarters at 3 facilities. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark 521,452,000 coins. Denver Mint, D mint mark 287,373,152 coins. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof only 3,127,781 coins, WashingtonQuarters.org, Wikipedia, CoinValueChecker.com. While these numbers suggest that the 1978 quarter is common, certain rare errors and high-grade specimens have become highly sought after by collectors. Let's delve into the specific errors and varieties that can make a 1978 Washington quarter exceptionally valuable. 1. Off-center strikes. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned during striking. A 1978 quarter with a 15% off-center error in MS66 condition can be valued at around $45, while a more dramatic 50% off-center error with the date visible can fetch over $250. CoinValueChecker.com. A double-struck error happens when a coin is struck more than once, leading to overlapping images. A 1978 quarter with a double strike error can be worth over $170, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. CoinValueChecker.com. These errors occur when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination. For example, a 1978 quarter struck on a 10-cent planchet sold for over $375, while one struck on a 1-cent planchet fetched approximately $600. CoinValueChecker.com. This error results from incorrect heating and cooling during the minting process, leading to a reddish-orange toning on the coin's surface. Such coins are valued around $100, depending on their condition. CoinValueChecker.com. While common in lower grades, 1978 D Washington quarters in MS67 condition are scarce. One such coin sold for $1,528 at a Heritage Auctions event. The U.S. Sun. The demand for rare 1978 Washington quarters has been on the rise. Collectors are willing to pay significant sums for coins with unique errors or in exceptional condition. For instance, a 1978 D Washington quarter in MS67 condition sold for $1,528 at auction. PCGS. Here's what to look for. Mint mark, check for the presence and clarity of the mint mark. Errors: look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual features. Condition: coins in mint state, MS, grades are more valuable. Weight and dimensions: ensure the coin matches standard specifications, deviations might indicate errors. Professional grading: consider having the coin graded by PCGS or NGC for authentication and valuation. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Originally intended as a one-year commemorative coin, its design became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter and became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. By 1985, the Washington quarter had seen over 50 years of circulation with minor changes in composition and design. The 1985 P quarter, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, was part of the regular business strike, and over 775 million coins were produced that year. Most of these ended up in circulation and suffered wear and tear, but a tiny fraction came with critical mint errors that turned them into ultra-rare collectibles. Minted at Philadelphia, P. Mintage, approximate, 775,818,962. Metal composition, clad, outer layers of copper nickel over a core of pure copper. Diameter, 24.3 millimeters. Weight, 5.67 grams. On the surface, the 1985 P quarter may seem like a high mintage, common coin. But as we'll see next, rare variations and errors make it worth far more than face value. Now here's where things get exciting. The rarest and most valuable 1985 P Washington quarters are error coins. These are coins that were misstruck, misaligned, or improperly made at the U.S. Mint, making them unique and highly collectible. Let's go through the biggest money makers. One of the most desirable types of errors, a double die obverse, occurs when the coin is struck with a die that has a doubled image. On 1985 P quarters, doubling is sometimes seen in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Money bag value: in pristine condition, these coins have sold for $3,000 to $6,000 at auction. Off-center errors occur when the blank planchet is not properly aligned with the die. The result? A coin with part of the design missing. Money bag value: depending on the severity and how much of the date is visible, these coins can sell for $500 to over $2,000. Occasionally, a quarter is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, like a nickel or penny. Money bag value: if you find a 1985 P quarter on the wrong metal, it could fetch $5,000 to $12,000 or more. A clipped planchet error looks like a small crescent is missing from the coin's edge. Money bag value: a rare and clean clipped planchet error can go for $300 to $1,000 or higher, especially if the date is intact. This happens when the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing the metal to spread and lose its regular shape. Money bag value: broad struck 1985 P quarters can command $200 to $750, depending on condition. Coin value isn't just about the error, it's also about the grade or condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS, 70. For example, circulated, damaged, might sell for $0.25 to $5. Uncirculated, MS, 60 to MS, 65 could be worth $20 to $200. Gem mint, MS, 66 and above. These are rare and can bring in $1,000 to $10,000 plus, especially with known errors. Tip: have your coin professionally graded by PCGS or NGC to authenticate its value. In 2021, a collector at a major U.S. coin auction dropped jaws when they sold a rare 1985 P quarter with a double die error in mint state 67 for nearly $12,000. That's right, a 25-cent piece turned into a 5-figure payout.